In the past, we had a lot less microchips, so it was a little bit easier to manage when you had to upgrade them, but you still had to do each one individually. Now that we have thousands of them, doing that individually is nerve-wracking. You'll spend months trying to get through all of them. With Fleet Command or just through Admiral, you can do that in a breeze. You can schedule it overnight, so all you have to do is check the next morning, make sure they all went through, and you save yourself hours of being up all night upgrading firmwares. It's definitely time saver and cost effective too.
Thanks for joining me today to talk about the Admiral platform. I'm excited to hear what you think about it and your experience. But first, tell me a little bit about QXC, like who you guys are, what you do, and your role with the company.
QXC is an internet service provider down here in South Florida. We're based out of Boca Raton, Florida. We have MDU customers, commercial customers. We do events like we do the big boat shows down here. We just wrapped up Palm Beach. We do the Miami Boat Show. We do a lot of the Art Basel tents. We provide Wi-Fi, and we also have some federal circuits that we manage. So we're an internet service provider down here. We offer triple play for MDU customers, internet, TV, phone service. And myself, I've been with QXC now going on, I think, 8 or 9 years. I started as a field tech. I like the tech stuff, so I got into that probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And that's been my main focus, just learning microchip, because microchip is what we've inherited and have kept using because it's cost effective and works great for our needs. So I'm the level 2 tech here. I handle most of the network stuff and dealing with our vendors, whether it be phone stuff or our IPTV platform.
That sounds great.
Yeah, we have a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Excellent. And then tell me about a time when Admiral helped you out with your company, or one time when it really worked for you.
Well, just recently, we had to abandon an old IP block. We had a /21, which is like 2,000 IPs that we had to exit. And the way our network was set up before, all our routers had a static assignment on the for their public IP, which works great, but whenever you have to change them, you usually have to do one at a time. Before we had Admiral, whenever we made any type of network change, even if it was something as simple as upgrading the firmwares on multiple routers, we'd have to log into each one individually. With the Fleet Commander thing in Admiral, it's super time saver. I moved out 2,000 IPs in probably 2 to 3 weeks, which would have took me 2 to 3 months if I had to do it manually. So I was able to exit those 2,000 IPs just under a month. Some of them were commercial customers that I had to reach out to where they didn't have our router, so those took a little bit longer. But anywhere we had a microchip, I maybe took a week to do all the microchip customers, and then the rest of the time was reaching out to customers that just didn't have our equipment, so we were at their mercy. But that would have saved me. We wanted to get out of that block as soon as we can. And at first I thought about it, like, I didn't think about Admiral at first when we decided to make the change. And I was like, this is gonna take forever. And then I thought about it again. I was like, wait, Admiral has Fleet Commander. I can try to use that. Mark helped me out on figuring out exactly how to set it up. And I breezed through the communities to make those changes. So that alone was just one of the times Admiral's definitely saved me.
Oh, wow.
Just having it to work.
I like how you phrased it too. It was you breezed through it.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with the firmware upgrades. In the past, we had a lot less microchips, so it was a little bit easier to manage when you had to upgrade them, but you still had to do each one individually. Now that we have thousands of them, doing that individually is nerve-wracking. You'll spend months trying to get through all of them. With Fleet Command or just through Admiral, you can do that in a breeze. You can schedule it overnight, so all you have to do is check the next morning, make sure they all went through, and you save yourself hours of being up all night upgrading firmwares. It's definitely time saver and cost effective too. That's hours that we don't have to pay our guys to be up all night doing tedious work.
Yeah. Are there any other things that you want to talk about what it was like managing your routers, in your network prior to having Admiral?
Things like just making Wi-Fi changing. changes on devices. Having to log into each individual router, especially for our NOC, we have a call center here that all they do is taking customer calls. Most of their calls are, hey, I need to change my Wi-Fi or something like that. Having to have them log into every router, find where you have to do that in Winbox, being able to do that from one centralized location is really nice for them. It makes their life easier. They don't have to worry about logging into a router where they may not know exactly what they're doing. It's pretty straightforward on the Admiral platform.
That's great, because yeah, if you have somebody logging into Winbox, they have so much functionality, they could actually mess something up, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So you mentioned a couple different features of Admiral, but is there one that's your absolute favorite? What do you really like?
Oh, it's definitely Fleet Commander.
Fleet
Commander to me is the best. Being able to do mass changes at a time. I didn't know about that function until maybe a year ago when I mentioned to Mark, hey, I need to make these changes. What's the best way to do it? He was like, well, you can just do it all from Admiral. And he helped me set it up, and Fleet Commander saved me so many late nights and so much time just being able to streamline a lot of things. So that's definitely my favorite. Being able to manage all our devices from one location. We've had other monitoring services that were based on different protocols or not centralized towards MikroTik. So they were good, but they weren't great. And Admiral is great when it comes to managing the MikroTiks.
We love to hear that. We hope to make it easy for you to manage a large network of MikroTiks, and if that's what we're helping you do, then that's perfect.
Yeah, and it seems to be getting better and better. Every time I speak to Mark, he's got a new thing that you guys are either working on or a new thing that's on the platform that he's showing me how to use. So it's definitely grown a lot, and I'm expecting it to be even better than it is now.
Are there any other stories that you want to share with us today?
Let me think. I use Admiral so much, it's hard to think of just one specific one. We made a lot of network changes in the last year, and just the firmware stuff, Fleet Commander, like I stressed on, it's overall, it's just a great product. It's I use it daily, so I use it to monitor all my devices. Usually every day I do a 30-minute or an hour just walkthrough of the network just to make sure we don't have any drops anywhere, nothing's looking weird or out of place. And I used to have to go log into a bunch of different routers to do that, use our different monitoring services to catch the info I want to catch. But now I'm able to just do all that from Admiral, which also saves me time. I'm
glad that we're able to help you, again, just to manage your network more efficiently, save you time, and help your team just, work well under one dashboard. So
yeah, that's great.
I love that. Thanks so much, Rony. Thanks for, again, giving us your time today. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. I look forward for all the new changes on Admiral.
Excellent. Well, we'll keep bringing them.
Great.